Take a look around you, right now. That chair you're sitting in, the clothes you're wearing, the phone in your hand. Ever stop to think about how it all got to you? I mean, sure, these things probably crossed oceans on massive ships or flew across continents. But what about that last critical step? The journey that brought them from some distant port or a huge factory right to your doorstep. Yep, it almost certainly spent time on a truck. Trucking. It's the unsung hero of global trade, right? It's that final, crucial link connecting the whole world directly to you. But here's the thing. This vital network is anything but simple. In fact, it looks wildly different depending on where you are in the world. So, to really wrap our heads around this global web, we've got to start with the basics. Let's look at the essential gear, the services, the trucking toolkit. Okay, first up, it's all about the trailer. And believe me, this isn't a one-size-fits-all situation. You've got your dry van, that's the workhorse, the big box on wheels for all your everyday stuff. But what if you're moving life-saving medicine or fresh strawberries? You're gonna need a reefer, which is basically a giant rolling refrigerator. And for that massive construction gear, it's gotta be a flatbed. Getting this first choice right is absolutely critical. Next, let's learn a little bit of the lingo. You're gonna hear this term a lot. LTL, which stands for less than truckload. Think of it like a carpool, but for cargo. Say you're a small business and you don't have enough stuff to fill an entire truck. Well, with LTL, you can share the space and, more importantly, the cost with other people. It's a total game changer for making things more efficient and affordable. And that brings us to a really fundamental choice that every shipper has to make. Do you go full truckload, or FTL, where you get the whole truck to yourself for your shipment? That's going to be faster and more secure. Or do you use LTL to share that space and save some cash? It's this constant balancing act, speed and security versus cost. And picking the right service isn't just a simple coin toss. No way. It's a really complex puzzle. Shippers have to figure out what kind of freight they have. Is it perishable? Is it oversized? They have to check for any restrictions on the route, like low bridges. They got to know what kind of handling it needs, a forklift, a crane. And then they have to balance all of that against the budget. One wrong move, and you're looking at some seriously expensive delays. All right, so now that we've got the basics down, let's go on a little trip. We're going to do a rapid tour and see how this all actually plays out on the ground in 5 very different parts of the world. And you're about to see just how much a seemingly simple truck journey can change from one place to the next. Let's kick things off in Europe. Now, inside the EU's Schengen area, it's amazing. Goods just flow seamlessly cross borders, no big deal. But the moment you hit an external border, like between the EU and Turkey, that smooth journey slams into a brick wall. A crossing that should be simple can turn into a multi-day nightmare of paperwork. We're talking delays of up to a whole week, just sitting there. And even with all that modern infrastructure, the risk is still incredibly high. Cargo theft is a huge problem in Europe, costing the industry something like $300 million every single year. And guess who that cost eventually gets passed down to? Yep, us, the consumers. Okay, let's hop over to North America. The US-Canada border, it's pretty smooth, all things considered. Delays are usually measured in hours, not days. But the US-Mexico border, that is a completely different story. It is a massive logistical choke point. Waits of 1 to 2 days are totally normal, and when security is tight, that can easily stretch into a full week. And of course, these delays have a huge impact on the cost. Shipping in North America is remarkably cheap, about 5 cents per ton kilometer. Europe is double that, thanks to higher taxes and tolls. But look at Latin America. It's the most expensive of the 3. So what's going on there? Well, the reasons are kind of a perfect storm of tough geography and lagging infrastructure. You've got the Andes Mountains, this massive physical barrier. A lot of the roads are in terrible shape if they're even paved at all, which just slows everything down and wrecks the vehicles. Then you've got border bureaucracy that can add days to a trip. And as if that's not enough, security is a huge, huge concern. And to put that security risk into perspective, just look at Brazil. In Brazil alone, cargo crime costs an estimated $250 million every single year. That forces companies to pay a fortune for security, and that cost gets baked right into the final price of the goods you buy. All right, let's head east to China. Now, China has one of the most modern road networks on the planet, but modern does not mean cheap. Get this, a single long-haul trip from Shanghai to Beijing can cost a shipper over $600 in tolls alone. That is a massive operating cost. And tolls are just the beginning of the story. The sheer volume of stuff moving through China creates its own insane bottlenecks. We're talking about the busiest ports in the world, leading to epic traffic jams. Customs can be inconsistent, sometimes holding up a shipment for a week for no clear reason. And when the whole country shuts down for a major holiday like Lunar New Year, it creates a logistical tidal wave that can take weeks, even months to sort out. Finally, let's take a look at Africa. There's this really ambitious vision for a modern trans-African highway connecting the whole continent. But the reality on the ground today, it's starkly different. Many of the most critical routes are still unpaved, and they're dotted with countless checkpoints that cause just immense, frustrating delays. So what's driving the high costs in Africa? It's a whole bunch of things. The single biggest factor is just the poor quality of the roads. It causes incredible wear and tear on the trucks. Then you have to add in major security risks and totally unpredictable border fees and tolls, and the costs just spiral out of control. This number is just staggering. For a single border crossing in Africa, shippers are told to add a buffer of 3 to 5 days. Think about that. That means a trip that should take 2 days can easily turn into a 10-day ordeal, all because of that one border. The unpredictability is just off the charts. So, after that whirlwind world tour, let's bring it all back home. We've seen that what seems like a simple act, moving something from point A to point B in a truck, is anything but simple. So what does this whole global patchwork of challenges actually mean for you and the stuff you buy? Well, the biggest takeaway is this. The journey of your goods isn't some smooth single highway. It's a messy global patchwork. A poorly maintained road in Zambia or a bureaucratic delay at the Mexican border can directly affect the price you pay for something in Chicago or London. All those hidden costs, the tolls in China, the security in Brazil, the delays in Africa, they are all built into the price of literally everything you buy. And that leaves us with one last big question. We all want everything faster, we want it cheaper. But as we've just seen, the physical road networks that make all of that possible are already under immense strain. So the next time you click Buy Now, it's worth asking, are the world's roads actually ready for what's coming next?